is very much, I always call it the four seasons of the med spa world, but we don't treat women's health as an add-on service that a lot of med spas do. You know, we were kind of unique where we started with women's health as our focus and then just treating the whole patient. So patient might come in for Botox, for example. We might be discussing also like her weight during that appointment, or she's talking about her hot flashes, or she starts having a hot flash when I'm doing her Botox. And so they leave with a comprehensive treatment plan, not just treating her fine lines and wrinkles, but looking at that whole patient is what's so important for us. Our headquarters is 12,000 square feet, and I did all the interior design myself. So I worked with our contractors, our subcontractors, and every element of New You has my touch to it, which is really the brand itself. And so all these franchise locations are not just gonna look like a standard med spa. You're gonna go in and there's gonna have a signature scent. There's gonna be signature chandeliers. So it's a very different experience. So the whole thing about New You is they're very unique. And so the building itself is unique, from the decor is unique, but also the customer service, the patient care. The biggest word that describes this is definitely unique. And so my hand has been involved at every aspect of the business to help guide that franchisee to making sure that they're making those right selections and they're getting the right contractor and being able to help guide them on their journey. So, I always call it the school of hard knocks, and I've been kicked down a lot, but I'm in the trenches. And I think the biggest thing is I learn, I grow, and I get back up. And so if I can help somebody stumble less than I did, that would be a huge win. I'm entrenched in the business, and so for me, I'm seeing patients as well. So it's very different when you have a franchisor with that perspective of, I'm not just an owner of New You, but I'm practicing in the business as well. So I think that brings another layer to not just the administration support, but also the clinical support. I can see both sides. And so when you sign on with New You, not only are you getting the New You brand, but that support is so important, I think, for long-term success for that franchisee to succeed. It's so scary opening up a business and knowing, like, over the next 5 years, am I going to succeed? Because most businesses do fail within that first 5-year time period. So knowing that you have somebody walking and guiding you along that journey is just, you can't put a price tag on that. And I think that's the biggest thing for me of looking back over the last 5 years of owning New You. I'm such a different leader now than I was 5 years ago, but I've learned so much in the business. And for me, I want to be able to pass that knowledge on to these franchisees and allow them to grow with me and grow with New You as a brand, and to help in establishing their success and have them be even way more successful than I was 5 years ago. Because if I had somebody that I could have cloned myself and put me with that person 5 years ago, it's priceless to say where we'd be at this point. And so I think that for them, a lot of people just need a really good mentor, but also somebody that has the metrics to back what they're saying, that they're going to be able to take them to that next level. I always say that you should elevate with people that are more successful than you and surround yourself with those people, because you're only going to be able to be better and achieve bigger results. We already have our portfolio of what devices we carry, what retail services, and so what products are on the shelf. So we've vetted all these companies, and so we have these rebates. We have these relationships with these different vendors. And so the nice thing is you don't have to go out there and try to figure out what retail should I be selling on the shelf. We already can tell you what one's going to be successful for the demographic that we serve, or what products do we carry. Now, not every single franchise location will have the exact same services at every location. So some locations may not have as many devices as our headquarters, but they at least have the option to have those devices. So we vetted them so we know that they work and they're going to serve a good purpose. So for me, being the CEO of this corporation, that's really where I love to do that research. I love to go to these conferences, and I love to entrench myself in what's coming out of the clinical trials and do all that vetting for our franchisees so they don't have to invest in that time, and I'll then be able to then distribute that information down. You're partnering with a bigger brand, and so because you're underneath the New You umbrella, you already have that partnership, which is really nice. So your pricing tier is already going to be at an elevated status. You're going to be paying less for, let's say your fillers and your Botox, for example. It's based on a tier structure, because New You's at a certain tier, you're going to then pay less for your product. So it's a win-win really for the franchisor, but also our franchisees, so they don't have to go and spend 2-3 years getting to that tier. We're already starting out at that tier, so you're already going to save more money. When you join us for franchising, the really cool thing about us is that we have an entire team for vetting a location for you. So you don't have to sit there and understand, like, I know I want to be in Virginia, but I have no idea where I need to go. So we have a team that not only uses AI, but analytics based on our demographic of patient that we see. So we can look at traffic count, age demographic, what's median income, and try to make sure that we can map out also where are these people going, where are they spending their money. So then we can try to narrow down that territory and allow you to go see a general area of saying, this is where we think you should go. So let us do that legwork for you. So with New You, we're going to help you find that perfect real estate location to make you the most successful at your med spa. If you are a med spa owner and you're like, okay, this was a lot harder than I thought, like we'll absorb your brand and allow you to go underneath the New You umbrella. So you can still have your location if it's working out for you, that it seems to be doing well. We're just gonna turn it a New You location instead and give you all the tools to help you succeed. So you can still be a business owner. You can still have that location in your staff. Just allow us to give you the tools to be more successful so you don't have to give up on your dream. So at New You, we have multiple revenue streams. It's important, I think, in the industry to never have one service. So we offer several different pillars of services, from women's health to medical aesthetics to wellness, IV drips, and then retail. So it's kind of broken into different pillars. So for example, during COVID, it was really scary because our med spa side of the business had to close, but the women's health aspect was still alive and thriving. And so I think it's really important that we never know with the uncertainty of what's going on with our world and our economy, but if you have different sources of revenue coming in, you know that you're always going to be okay, that you have a fallback. And so, for us, not only do we have these services that bring us revenue, but also New You is launching a New You Academy. And so we'll have another completely different source of revenue that we're going to be building this huge network of training other clinicians, training other nurse injectors. And so we want our franchisees to be part of that. We want them to be experts in the field so they can be training other people to be an expert as well. So we're all injecting safely or practicing women's health safely. So for us, it's always looking at where can we grow to have income, but also like being leaders in that field. I've been in healthcare since I was 18 years old, and I decided to become a registered nurse when my sister had preeclampsia when she was pregnant, and she coded on the OR table, and they did an emergency C-section to deliver my nephew. And from there, I really knew that my heart was going to be drawn towards healthcare. So I became a labor and delivery nurse first, after watching my sister kind of go through that. And then I pursued my graduate and my doctoral program and became board certified and just to practice women's health. And really that kind of stemmed from a few different personal experiences that I had. I lost a second baby, and I was diagnosed with gestational trophoblastic disease. So I had to undergo 2 months of chemotherapy and was never able to have any more children after losing my second child. So that was huge, and I was in my mid-20s when that happened in my life. And then at the age of 32, I was diagnosed with cervical cancer and underwent a complete hysterectomy and went into menopause and gained 40 pounds and had to be placed in hormone replacement therapy. So I definitely feel an emotional connection with so many of the patients that I'm taking care of, because I've walked that life. In a lot of instances, I've had that personal experience, and I feel like for women, it's so vulnerable to express what you've been through and open up to a provider that's just trying to be there to help you, because I genuinely want all of my patients to know that I'm invested in them, and I want them to feel like I'm a friend, not just like, here's your diagnosis and here's your treatment. I'm generally invested into what is going on in your life. I want to know who's getting married, has there been a death, all these things that are going on in your life, because I really want to be part of that journey. And so I think women have an easier time relating to me because I have that emotional connection with them, that I want to be there, during their women's health journey, from whatever that might be. So that's why I decided to open up New You Women's Clinic and Aesthetics, and that was in 2020. And it's just kind of exploded from there. There's 3,000 hormone patients I take care of, and I think it's because I connect with women that are struggling with hormones and struggling with weight, is because that was me.